So we finished off talking about Mark Ingram, starting the wide receiver, top 10 wide receiver list we have here. I'm going to let Mariano go handle this one right now.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to rock my first three. First one, Mike Thomas. Can't go wrong with Mike Thomas. That boy is a beast. Broke the record last year for most receptions in a season. So he's going to continue to get open, and as long as Drew Brees is the quarterback, we're going to keep on rolling.
I'm being hella loud over here with this freaking
jacket.
Good. Yeah, I got Michael Thomas in, number 1, too. Like we touched on earlier, Drew Brees loves throwing for 4,000 yards each season. Michael Thomas finds a way to get open. He's not a burner. He's just a great route runner.
Yeah.
Finds a way to get open.
Big body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's the only 99 wide receiver on Madden. You didn't know that. So,
yes, sir. Number 2. Oh, go ahead. Are you going to finish?
Yeah. I'm going to go number 2 since you didn't know.
Yeah.
I got Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins over there. I was going to say on the Texans, but on the Cardinals. He no longer has Deshaun Watson, but like I said, that man's quarterback proof. And Kyler Murray is still a dynamic quarterback.
Yep.
I think they're going to get the job done. New scenery. He's going to like his coach this season. So, I think, Nuke's going to be Nuke. Do his thing still.
Yeah, number 2 for me is Mike Evans. I had Mike Evans last year as well, and that boy would drop like 50-point games, right? So he'll explode. For the most part, he's consistent as well, and it's even going to get better with Tom Brady at quarterback. So exactly. Mike Evans, number 2.
Yeah, I have Mike Evans as 5 on my list. Love Mike Evans. Had him last year too. Man had a couple of 40-point games, I think, or 30 points.
Yeah,
big games.
Stellar games.
Exactly. Yeah. People were worried the first 2 weeks because he put up 8 points total last season,
right?
And then blew up the next game.
Went crazy.
Yeah. So we love Mike Evans over here. He's been one of the most consistent wide receivers too in the league. If you notice, every year he gets his touchdowns. He gets at least 1,000 yards, and he's consistent. Like we love on this channel, consistency. Going on to my voice cracked right there. Going on to my wide receiver number 3, we got Tyreek Hill. I almost forgot about this guy for some reason. He's on the Super Bowl winning team, the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy's electric whenever he gets the ball in his hand. He makes plays. He's the fastest man in the league. I mean, Henry Ruggs might give him a run for his money, but
still,
Tyreek Higgins. Tyreek Hill does the damn thing. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
He just loves getting into the end zone.
For me, I got DK Metcalf as number 3. Very high, sophomore, hot take alert. DK came on towards the end of the year last year, and in the playoffs, he set a record for a rookie. I think he had over 100 yards in the playoff game. So, DK Metcalf, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson, future Hall of Fame quarterback. So DK Metcalf is going to continue to grow. He is a beast. I think he's the closest thing to Megatron since Megatron's left.
Boy's a monster. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Creative player. Madden creative player.
in
real life.
Yeah, he always likes to make the buff-ass motherfuckers.
Right.
That's why we have Mariano on here. He keeps the show fresh. These hot takes, man.
That's it.
I have number, what am I, 4? No, I'm on 5, bro. Oh, no, I skipped one. I skipped my 3. My 3 is Julio Jones. There's no, I don't think I have to talk about Julio Jones.
No.
He lacks what? Touchdowns sometimes?
Mic drop. Julio Jones.
But this man is the most consistent wide receiver in the league, and week in, week out. This is also what helps Matty Ice stock, as I was talking about earlier, how he's so consistent. So is Julio Jones. They go hand in hand, obviously. Elite wide receiver. And it could have been a 3-way tie for first for me as far as the wide receivers. Maybe even 4th, Tyreek does his damn thing. But, you just know we have a high quality list of top 4 over here.
Yeah.
Mariano's turn now.
Yeah, so I got, for number 4, Devontae Adams. We kind of touched on it earlier. Solid. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. Can't go wrong. Julio's my 5, right? So we've already talked about Julio. Mic drop Julio. Number 6 is Galladay. Yeah, Kenny Galladay was a beast last year. I play FanDuel, and he was one of the cheapest receivers, and every single week,
Love that guy.
he was just putting out points. So can't go wrong with Galladay either.
I got him so late, like probably 5th round, 6th round last year. That dude was a monster.
Steal,
Love that guy.
bro. Steal.
Not a steal this year, unfortunately.
No.
So, touched on Tyreek. We touched on Mike Evans already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My wide receiver 5 is Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin was, I think he led the league in receiving last year. Came out of nowhere, I believe. He had a cool season before that.
Yeah.
I think he broke out last season. And we love those 2 wide receivers on that Tampa Bay offense, especially now that they have Tom Brady. For me, this was a tie. Godwin's and Evans was tied for the 5th place position, obviously because they have Tom Brady there now. That's definitely going to boost their stock, and they're only going to get better now that Jameis Winston isn't throwing 30 picks. Love those 2 guys. I had Devontae Adams next as my 7th wide receiver, so let Mariano go with the next one.
Yeah, so after Galladay at 6, I got 7, D-Hop, 8, Chris Godwin. We've already touched about it. And then number 9, Tyreek Hill. We know, we just talked about it, right? And then the last one is Juju for me. He's getting Big Ben back this year. So once you put consistent play back at quarterback position, he should have a bounce back year this year, which last year wasn't so bad. But with more consistent quarterback play, his numbers are going to arise as well.
Correct, yeah. And I think he would have benefited way better if he had Ben Roethlisberger all last season.
Big time.
He steps into that role, Antonio Brown role. There might be a little hiccups here and there, but now that he has like a wide receiver as Chase Claypool, it's going to help, alleviate some of
the double coverage and the bracket coverage.
Exactly, because last season they also struggled to find that wide receiver too on that offense. So now that we have better options this season, I for sure think that Juju will make a jump. He was my wide receiver 8 on my list. 7 for me is Keenan Allen. Mariano doesn't like this pick at all.
It's not Keenan.
Yeah,
Allen
I know it's not
either.
Keenan Allen. It's the quarterback situation.
It's quarterback play.
If Tyrod Taylor starts for the majority of the season, I think that definitely hurts his stock.
Yeah.
For sure. If we get Justin Herbert in there, then we have some fresh life in at quarterback.
But he's still a rookie.
Yeah, he's still a rookie.
Yeah.
But an elite wide receiver with a rookie quarterback, that's just his best friend.
Right. I could be wrong.
Hey, but you have a point with the Tyrod Taylor thing.
Yeah.
But I love Keenan Allen. He's been a man, especially when he stays healthy. He's had some injury concerns in the past, but he's shown up. He's been up there with the freaking DeAndre Hopkins and the freaking. He's the top wide receiver, and he shows it on game day. I said I had Juju 8. Talked about that, and Juju's 9 for me, and then Galladay is 10. We already talked about that, so I'm done with my wide receivers. As are you?
I'm done. Yeah.
Correct.
Going with wide receivers. So we got one more segment, and that's the tight ends. Top 10 tight ends.
Yes, sir. So I just finished the wide receivers, so you can start that.
Kick it off. It's a no-brainer. Everyone knows George Kittle's the best tight end in the league.
That's why you got paid like it.
Absolutely. He'll probably end up being early second-round pick this year, if not late first.
If he's there in third.
Oh, man, that's going to be a steal if he's there in the third.
Exactly.
So that's a no-brainer. I think our first few ones are the same, or first 2. I got Travis Kelce second. Everyone should know this by now. If you don't, keep watching the podcast. Right?
That's another one that's like a tie for first. These 2 guys are,
Absolutely.
Kelce's the veteran that's been doing his thing for a long time, and then George Kittle's a young blood on the block, you know. But they're both amazing tight ends. Number 3, I have Zach Ertz over there on the Eagles. Why you say that?
Cause man, you're not giving our guy no love.
Who? Oh no,
Darren Waller, baby.
He's on my list, man. He
needs to be.
I want to trust me. He finished as
at 5th, man.
He finished as tight end 3 last season. I know. I love the guy. He's my dog. But we have a lot of weapons on our offense, and we have to spread the ball out this season. Right. Last year was the Waller show because we had injuries and. You know, we had 1 week where he was just throwing to Hunter Renfrow and fucking Zay Jones and some quarterback we signed that week or some wide receiver we signed that week. So you know, Darren Waller was the main target.
Point. Yeah.
So that's why he got a lot of work. I'm just being realistic this season. You know, we're gonna spread the ball. We have a lot more weapons on offense, and we want to keep people guessing. You know. Yeah. Zach Ertz has always been a focal point on that Philadelphia Eagles. Offense. I don't know why.
No, to your point though, I'm looking at the targets for last season. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce comes in at number 1 with 136 targets, and that's what I like to focus on is the opportunities. Exactly. How many opportunities are you going to get throughout the season to touch the rock? Mm-hmm. And Zach Ertz is right behind him at 135. So exactly. you got a very valid point. To me, when I watch Zach Ertz play, he's slow as a slug. So he gets the targets though. He had 916 yards for 6 touchdowns. So again, you can't go wrong. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's just a little bias, my internal bias that definitely. I have with the Raiders.
I'd love putting him up, but you have to have some realism, and we know we're going to spread the ball. We know we've been following camp, and we know these things.
Touche.
So the only thing about Zach Ertz is Dallas Goedert steals those freaking touchdowns sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's the only knock I have on him, really.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know why I thought he had a down year last season, but he did pretty solid. Yeah. Finished top 5, right? Top 6?
Top 5.
Top 5, yeah. So I don't know why. I just had that notion in my head, but after I read the numbers and stuff, I realized that he did his thing. I think it was the season before that is when he had a down one. Yeah. So that's my number 3. Let Mariano go for this one.
Yeah, my number 3 is Darren Waller. We touched on it already. This dude was a stud last year. He had 90 targets. 1145 yards, so 1,145 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns, but I do expect that to improve this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Darren Waller's number 3. Number 4, I got Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews.
My bad. Let me just touch on the Waller one real quick. We know John Gruden said so specifically. I want to come out there in my 3 tight end sets. I want to run as many 3 tight end sets as I can. Mm-hmm. That's just great news for Waller.
Absolutely.
And then they're going to do a running game out of the 3 tight end set, and then they're going to do play action. And then, that opens up so much.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mark Andrews for number 4.
Same here.
Yeah, Mark Andrews had 98 targets, 64 receptions, 852 yards, and 10 touchdowns, dude. 10 touchdowns.
The big thing for me is Lamar Jackson gets out the pocket. You have a big body right there.
That's what he's finding.
Exactly.
That's his best friend at the moment. Is Mark Andrews, especially in the red zone.
Especially in the red zone, exactly. Yeah. Cool, we agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is Waller, and Mariano doesn't like that. We already touched on Waller. So I'm going on to my 6, which is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was injured for most of last season. I thought he wasn't going to play. We said I was reviewing our podcast last year, and we're like, he's done for the season.
Yeah.
But he came back late in the season, had a couple good games, went off. And we have a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks, what are they like? A big target, big tight end target.
Tight ends.
Example, Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson that we just talked about. Even though he wasn't a rookie, it was his first year fully starting,
Right. He found him a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Hunter Henry, and he's a dynamic playmaker. He was doing great with Phillip Rivers, Old Man Rivers, and I think he'll continue to do that.
Yeah, big time. Number 5, I got Zach Ertz. We touched on it. Ton of targets. So he's gonna get his touches. Number 6, I got Evan Ingram. So as long as what I saw or what I stated earlier for my sleepers, if Daniel Jones can continue to grow as a quarterback in his sophomore season, I think that Evan Ingram's going to be a tremendous part. And the old head coach for the Dallas Cowboys is actually in New York now as the offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. So we know that historically with Jason Garrett, Jason Witten has been the man over there. So again, this upcoming season for Evan Ingram, I think it's going to be a solid year for him. So yeah, that's my number 6.
All right, moving on to my 7th tight end. I have the man, the myth, the legend, the Gronk himself. Gronkowski's coming out of retirement. Joined his old best friend, Tampa Bay Tom over there. We know that connection.
Absolutely, man.
Brought him Super Bowls, that connection. They got plays made up just for them too. Loves finding him in the red zone. Gronk's been out of football for a year, but this man is football. This man is a man playing among children. He's going to come back, not lose any strides. And then he's going to eat over there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So for me, my next one will probably be a surprise to people. But coming in at number 7, I got Eric Ebron. So Eric Ebron, if you don't know already, he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we touched on it earlier that Big Ben is back, right? So we have more consistency at the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I expect Eric Ebron to come out and ball out, right?
Exactly.
I can't remember the last time he had a solid tight end. I know that McDonald was the tight end in previous years.
Yeah.
But Eric Ebron can run.
Yeah.
Right? That's the big thing, is that he can run, he can get open, he's a mismatch. So
exactly.
That's me for number 7.
Going on to number 8, I have Austin Hooper. Like I said earlier, I hated on the man for no reason at all. I just didn't think that he could do it. Atlanta Falcons figured it out for him. He showed that he could be productive. He's going to the Browns now. New head coach. The head coach is smart. He'll use his potential, make plays for him. Nick Chubb. Finally use those wide receivers. Use that whole potential on that offense.
Yeah.
So if they use him right, Austin Hooper has the ability to continue what he started last season.
Yeah, I have a thing with Cleveland. I just feel like, when players go there, their careers, that's the land of death for them.
Yeah.
That's where careers go to die.
Exactly.
OBJ hasn't been the same. Hopefully he can pick back up. As you can tell, OBJ wasn't even in our top 10, either of us. So maybe it's the quarterback play of Baker. But then also, I don't know, man. It's just, he made one catch of his career and he's had solid games after that, but ever since he left New York, the spotlight's not on him so much, and he doesn't have the production.
Yeah, they also need to get that offense, whatever new offense. It's going to be hard with this whole COVID shit, getting a new offense implemented. Yeah. So you might not see good things from Odell again this season too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Going on to number 9 for me, tight end, I have Evan Ingram. Mariano touched on that earlier. He's going to be like his main target.
Yep.
For Daniel Jones. They drafted some wide receiver, but it's not like no one spectacular or nothing. I forgot the name. I should do my research for it. Anyways, he's not important. We know that Evan Ingram and Saquon are going to be the focal points of this offense. They have Darius Slayton or whatever, but I'm not sold on Darius Slayton. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
Not I. But yeah, love Evan Ingram. See him having a better year this year than he did last year.
Yeah. And I got Rob Gronkowski at number 8. Number 9, I got Tyler Higbee. So Tyler Higbee of the Rams. I know that it was between him and Gerald Everett last year for the Rams, but I also took a look at the targets between the two, right? And Tyler Higbee had 89 targets last year, which is a ton of targets, right? Yeah. Even if you catch, let's just say half of them, I mean, that's 45 catches. So again, targets is what I look at when I go into a draft and I'm about to draft someone. I want to see how many times or how many opportunities did the player have to touch the rock and get points, right?
Touching the rock, you're not scoring points, man.
Tyler Higbee, yes sir.
Those are your number 9?
That was my number 9.
All right. Coming in at number 10 for me, this is my last tight end. I spoke about him earlier, Hayden Hurst. We look at Austin Hooper, which we talked about earlier, in the Atlanta offense. They obviously like using the tight end. They figured out how to use the tight end on that offense. Hayden Hurst has all the potential. We just didn't see him because he was buried by Mark Andrews in Baltimore. And I think they're going to use him to his full potential because they don't have a tight end one. And Hayden Hurst is the man, and they obviously know how to use the tight end. Yeah, I'm just going to go check the camera one more time.
Yep.
Keep on going. We're on to the next topic.
Yeah, so we still rolling?
Yeah, just like the battery lights blinking.
Okay, so last one, right? Last but not least, for my last tight end, it's going to be Mike Gesicki from Miami. He also had 89 targets last year, 51 receptions, 570 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And that was with Fitzmagic at quarterback. So we got Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. He was a stud at Bama. So I would expect his numbers to go up significantly. Again, rookie quarterback, tight end, best friends, I would assume.
2 peas in a pod.
2 peas in a pod. So that's the biggest thing is that they have a new, young, up-and-coming quarterback.
They're bringing life into that offense. Yeah.
Exactly. So that does it.
That's done for the top 10s. We're going to touch bases on the kickers and defensives. As we said earlier, this is a streamable thing. Week in, week out, you look for matchups, and there's always going to be a kicker that you can pick up. This isn't necessarily something you have to stress on. You don't draft this early. You don't,
Right.
Just going to touch on my top 5 kickers. I'll let Mariano add any notes on there that he wants. We have Harrison Butker, Justin Tucker, Matt Gay, Robbie Gould, and Will Lutz. The first 2, they have the best quarterbacks in the league. You know what all these guys have in common? Their quarterback gets into the red zone, gives them opportunities. These are all great offenses. So it's freaking. It makes sense why they score and why they have the opportunities. So, any notes you have on the kicker?
No, I have Butker. I've had Butker for the past 3 seasons, and this fool will drop like 20-point games coming from a kicker.
Yeah.
So can't go wrong with any of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Going on to defense, my top 5 is San Francisco. They didn't lose any pieces besides the defensive tackle, I believe.
Right.
They're going to pick up right where they left off. The defense is nasty. We saw what they were doing to people. Pittsburgh, another defense that's picking up right where they left off. As soon as Minkah Fitzpatrick joined that team, lights out. They were creating turnovers left and right. TJ Watt is a monster. Baltimore is a historically defense team. We know that. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all those guys. They're just a defensive team. They're always going to be good on defense. Buffalo, their defense is still intact. We know that. They carried the freaking the Bills all last season. Whenever Josh Allen would make a mistake, they bail him out.
Right.
And then my last one is Chicago. I'm expecting a bounce back season. They had a bad season, but I think that's because they were fucked up positions because of Michael Trubisky. We know they have Khalil Mack. They have what's the linebacker that they have too? They have a good linebacker too. But Trevathan, is that?
Danny Trevathan's one of them, but they had the rookie Smith, is it not?
Yeah. Well, they have a good defense, you guys.
They have a good defense.
They have good pieces there.
They got Khalil.
Exactly.
Former Raider.
And they have a good defensive tackle. They're solid over there. Yeah. So I'm expecting a bounce back from them, especially if they get the quarterback play figured out. And that concludes our top 10 list of everything, and top 5 of our side stuff. This concludes our Fantasy Extras podcast. This is the pre-podcast for the beginning of the season. Just want to touch bases with you guys and let you know what's going on in this crazy world, man. Gonna be coming out with another episode pretty soon too. We're gonna touch more bases on more stuff.
About a week, and we're kind of thinking about maybe doing a first round mock draft for you guys. If you guys have any questions, or if you'd like us to answer anything specific or do any special segments, let us know.
Yeah, definitely leave a comment down and subscribe for sure, because that helps our channel out. We want to get it out there, help as many people as we can. And yeah, it was a pleasure to be back. I'm glad to be back. Ready to draft. I got a couple drafts coming up, and it's gonna be
that's right.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time.
All right,
Signing
Fantasy
off.
Experts out.
Laters.